flew down here to Miami from Pennsylvania, and I tripled my income in 1 year, and I was like, oh my God, dude, this is like, I told myself I'm not gonna look back and say that I didn't do it. Yeah. And so ever since then, going in that mentality, you can just make things work.
So I think when you're looking at mentors in general, ask yourself, like, are there aspects of this person, are they respected, right? Are they liked? Are they happy? I think happy is a big one too, right?
Yeah, it's huge. I heard this quote and it resonates so true. It's like, dude, one emergency can wipe you out. I always want to give in exchange more than people give me.
Yeah.
Every single time. I don't want to take a paycheck and do it for the money. I want to make sure I do it for the right reason and then also put in the work ethics. I'm very thankful for my mom because she taught me all about work ethic. More important than the money itself is she taught me like work.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my favorite show on the internet, The Macro Show. Thank you for watching. Today, I am joined by none other than Chris Dietz. Maybe new to you, kind of a newer relationship for me as well, but we're all gonna get to know him here on today's episode of The Macro Show. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, share this with 2 of your friends. You're not going to want to miss any of these gems. I guarantee you won't find them anywhere else, and if you do, let me know. Chris, welcome, man.
Hey, man, appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome. So we're gonna jump right in. Know a little bit about you, right? You are in the staffing business, and the name of your company is
Find Me Staffing Solutions.
Find Me Staffing Solutions. So let's just break that down. Like, I have a general idea of what staffing is, but how would you explain your business? What problem are you solving, and who are you serving?
Yeah, so who I serve is I serve any business owner that has incoming leads and has training in place, and I place them with closers and appointment setters for their business, and everything is remote. So I place remote closers, remote setters. All my people are from the States. That way they get the best quality sales reps for their company.
Awesome. I might actually have to hit you up about my coaching business, right? So do you serve people with like coaching courses, things like that? Or what type of closers, I guess, or what type of businesses do you serve?
Yeah, great question. So I serve mainly high-ticket business owners, like yourself, like coaches, consultants, agency owners. I mean, I'm even tapping in with construction companies. Really, I'm going all across the board. But the companies that do the best with my reps are high-ticket coaching companies.
Awesome. Yeah. And how long have you been, I guess, running this business? Or when did you start this business?
6 months ago.
6 months. Okay. So entrepreneurship, big. A lot of entrepreneurs here in Miami. Obviously, I'm one myself. Yeah. Which brings us to the important topic. Money. So we're going to come back to current day, but let's go to young Chris, right? Paint a picture. Where did you grow up? What was money like for you as a kid? How did your parents manage money, and what was your relationship with money when you were young Chris? Yeah,
man. So, when I was really little, I grew up middle class, right? Small town, and where the average income earner was earning about $25,000 a year.
Wow.
Where I was from. Right. And so if you made 50 grand, you were like the king. Right. Yeah. And so that's what I grew up as, and then when I turned, when I was 20 years old, or when I was 18, I got into some trouble. Right. And that really woke me up about money.
What kind of trouble?
I got into some trouble.
Okay.
some trouble.
The kind of trouble you call trouble. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, exactly. I got in some trouble, and I had to clean up my stuff, and I had to do it immediately. Right. So, when I had a certain period of time where I couldn't really do anything. And so all I was reading was books. I was unemployed, zero money in my bank account, and all I had to do was read. So I just read all day, every day. And I got my mindset right about money. And then 2 years later, I made 150 grand in my first year in real sales.
Okay. You made 150K at 20 years old.
Yep. I was 20. I finished the year off 23 years old. And I made 150 grand.
Nice. Yeah. And how old are you now?
I'm 26.
23 years old, 26 now. Awesome. I'm old. I'm 33, man.
Nice.
So before 18, before you got in trouble, right? You're still a kid. You said you grew up middle class. Like, what was middle class? People were making $25,000 a year. So, like, let's just use an example. This is what I think about. So around Christmas, birthdays, was it like, hey, I want this, and your parents were like, able to give it to you, or was it like, hey, were they having those discussions of like, look, we're going to give you Christmas gifts, but it's not going to be everything you want? Like, how did that look like, and how do you think you started to form your ideas around money at that time?
Yeah, great question. So it was always, you can wish what you want to get, but you're only going to get a set few things.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to get this, and then maybe this, right? Because I also grew up with 2 older sisters. Okay. So, you know, I grew up, you know, my parents separated when I was at a young age. So then I was just growing up, single mom. She was working 3 jobs just to keep the house alive, and then also managing 3 kids at once, right?
Yeah.
So I'm very thankful for my mom because she taught me all about work ethic. More important than the money itself is she taught me like work. Like every day she would tell me, hey, you need to get to work so that way you don't have to go through any of this stuff, right? And she would embed that into my mind like almost every single week. Right. And so, you know, growing up in that scenario, watching people struggle and watching, you know, your friends' family struggle or seeing your family members struggle, you know, at like a super, super bad point where, you know, like they have to live with each other or they have to move out of their house because some things had happened. Right. You know, and I heard this quote and it resonates so true. It's like, dude, one emergency can wipe you out.
Dude. Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
like one emergency.
It's so true. It's a big part of why I started YouTube in general was to help people empower themselves, right? So without going down the rabbit hole of social anything, right? The world's a complicated and messed up place, right? Yeah. And it's very unlikely, this is my belief for all you watching, it's very unlikely that we're going to fix everything in our lifetime. So same to you, like I look around at my life, I look at people, you know, who are encountering like real life problems, like you will get sick, people will die, you know, I've had to pay for funerals of friends because they didn't have money to bury their loved ones, right? So, and that's a weird feeling because it's like I feel grateful to be in a position to help, but at the same time, man, like it's like that's a really heart-wrenching moment, and that's happened twice in my life, and I'm not that old, you know. So, being able to support yourself, learning from your parents, right, and you know, moving the needle forward is huge. Do you feel like watching? So you had 2 sisters. Yeah. It's funny because my parents divorced as well. I had 3 sisters, and my mom also was.
Are you the youngest or the oldest?
I'm the second oldest. So I have 1 older sister and 2 younger sisters.
Nice.
Still a lot of sisters, hanging out, house full of women, a lot of fighting and screaming. Were you the youngest?
I was the youngest.
You're the youngest. Okay. Yeah. So were they nice to you or were they?
I couldn't hit them.
Couldn't hit them?
So I couldn't hit him when I was growing up, dude. Yeah. So I was just get beat, dude.
Yeah.
I got beat, man.
Do you think watching, I guess, your mom work 3 jobs, and I mean, I guess it has, but a better way to ask the question is, how do you think watching and observing your mom through the years work 3 jobs to support you affected your relationship with money? How you thought about it?
Man, great question. So I was like 13 at the time. All right, maybe I was younger than that. Maybe I was like 10 years old. And my aunt, she lost her house due to gambling.
Wow.
And I'm sorry to put you on blast, Aunt. I don't know if she's going to watch this or not, but it's a real story. She lost her house to gambling. She had to move into my grandma's house, right? And, you know, I'm like 10 years old, dude. So I don't even know what gambling is. You know, all I hear is my mom just hollering up a storm. She's like, mother effer freaking, you know, like your aunt is doing this and this and that, like stealing people's money, all that. And that's when I was like, dude, like, what is this money thing? Yeah. You know, and it really woke me up, man, because you know, she would really teach me about like hard work and hard work ethic, and then she'd show me like we would drive to the hood, like, and she would go there and she'd be like, if you don't work hard, that's gonna be your house. If you don't work hard, you're gonna live there. Yeah. You know, it's like she instilled that like fear in me almost, you know, at such a young age, which I'm very thankful for. And so, you know, it really taught me that work ethic is way important than just getting a check. Yeah. And not only that, but also the money will come as long as you do the right things. Right. So, you know, when I'm working hard and I'm like pounding, right, I always want to give in exchange more than people give me. Yeah. Every single time. I don't want to take a paycheck and do it for the money. I want to make sure I do it for the right reason, and then also put in the work ethic. Because that's what I want to be known for. You know, I want to have a relationship after this podcast, and you know me, like, dude, this guy, Chris, he freaking works. Yeah, like, he can get stuff done. You know, that's what I want to be known for. So aside from the money thing, right, it taught me about putting in the work ethic that needs to happen, or else nothing's going to happen. Or you just may get one check, but you may lose respect with somebody over that check.
It's never, and you learn this over time, hopefully. I mean, I haven't done this. I've seen other people struggle with this, but people will 100% burn a relationship for a quick buck. Yeah. You know, and it's like, it's always some amount of money where it's like you're younger and it's like, ooh, I could, you know, take the shortcut for like $5,000. And I can tell you guys, like, if you keep developing and learn, like $5,000 is obviously a lot of money. I'm not going to say it's not a lot of money, but at the same time, like, it's not for all the money that's out there, you can make more money without screwing people over.
Yeah, that's like that's like 1 month in Miami. $5,000.
Yeah, that's rent.
Exactly.
Maybe rent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
exactly.
There's a lot of money out there.
Yeah. Great question, by the way.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah.
So you see that you learn about hard work. So and you talked about working on the right thing. So that kind of segues into, again, money, right? So your mom obviously was working 3 jobs.
Yeah.
One of the things that I'm sure we both know is a lot of people work hard their entire lives and they never really are able to level up. So where did you start thinking about, okay, not only do I need to work hard, but if I want to have a different financial outcome, right, I need to work smart as well. And it sounds like, I mean, obviously you made $150K at 23. So fast forwarding to that time, you're 23 years old, you make $150,000. Mm-hmm. What was your perspective of what was possible at that point in time?
You know, at that point, it was just sky's the limit, right? So the one thing that switched me over was I was doing drugs, partying, all that stuff, right? And I needed something to switch. I needed to change my environment. And so when I was reading all those books, when I got myself cleaned up, I was learning about sales. All I would study was just sales, human relations, psychology, all that stuff, dude. Like human emotion, like how do you get someone to say yes? How do you convert somebody? How do people build these massive companies? Like what's the most important thing? And so one thing I'm really good at and I've always been good at is sales, right? Yep. It's just talking to people, getting in front of guys like you and being known in the space, right? And so that was it for me, man. Sales was it. So I had no money. I didn't know what to do. I was working construction, making $1,200 a month. And then one day I was swinging a hammer, okay? And I was reading this book. And it was going over how to sell. And my boss was closing a deal in the other room. And I overheard him closing the deal. And at that moment, I was like, bro, this guy's horrible at closing deals. I could be closing that deal. What the fuck am I doing?
He was probably making more money than you at that time.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, he was the business owner.
Yeah.
It was just me and one guy, me and the owner, right?
Yeah.
We were just doing the one, like 2-man thing. And I'm swinging the hammer. I'm like, dude, why am I not the one closing the deals? I feel like I could be closing his deal. And then that day I was like, bro, I need to get into sales.
Yeah.
And so I got into sales, selling vehicles. After that, bang, I flew down here to Miami from Pennsylvania and I tripled my income in 1 year. And I was like, oh my God, dude, this is
selling
insane.
Cars at that point in time.
Yeah, I was selling cars for 2 years. And then right during COVID, I moved down here to Miami to work at my previous place. World-class sales trainer, great business owner, phenomenal individual.
Yeah.
And so I worked for him for until I left recently.
Awesome. How much would you say? And there's a lot. I mean, there are a ton of really big, I guess, sales-based organizations here in Miami, right? So you had the opportunity to work at one of the bigger ones, get mentorship. How important do you think mentorship is at becoming just a better salesperson, right? And how impactful do you think that was in your life, just those different experiences, going from car sales to that opportunity, and now you have your own business, right, where you're selling, differing levels of risk, right? When you work as an employee at a car dealership, commission-based, quota-based, I'm sure. My dad was a car salesman my entire life, so I get the business. Versus going to a different sales business and running your own company, right? So what was your sales maturity curve, I guess, throughout that?
I would say my biggest maturity curve was when I packed up all my bags and I flew down and I drove down here from Pennsylvania to Miami. Yeah. And I put myself in a position where I could not fail. I only had one option to make it happen. And I told myself I'm not going to look back and say that I didn't do it. Yeah. And so ever since then, going in that mentality, you can just make things work.
Yeah.
And on the mentorship side, it's so important to get mentorship, not just any mentorship, but the right mentorship. Find the guy that you could see yourself being,
Yeah.
That's one thing I really find with mentors is that, there's a lot of gurus out there. There's a lot of mentorships. I mean, heck, dude, everyone should be a mentor, right? Yeah. There's nothing wrong with being a course person or selling courses or selling your course for whatever, $97 a month, right? If you're doing the right thing, there's nothing wrong with that, But I would say if you're looking for the right mentor, pick 2 people that you admired most and that you could actually see yourself training places with. Yeah. And pick those 2 mentors and stick with them. Don't pick 5, 6, 7, 10, or some like, for me, I'm a very simple guy. So I'm not a very mechanical individual. Like I don't do good with like, man, you got to do this to this for this for this. Dude, just tell me the data, bro, and then I'll work with it. You know, that's the kind of guy I am. So, you know, when I worked for my latest mentor, that's the kind of guy he is, you know, and my mentor now, that's the kind of guy he is. He's just point A, point B. That's it.
Yeah. Keep it simple and aligned. And I think on mentorship too, and really, I always tell people, if you're taking advice from someone, to keep it a single bullet, I used to say, I'm not going to take advice from someone who I wouldn't mind living their life. Right now, nobody's perfect. So even the best, you know, I'll use day trading. I'm a day trader. The best day trader, you know, I look up to him and his methodology for trading. He could have a messed up, fucked up relationship with his wife and kids.
Yep.
So maybe I'm not going to listen to his advice on relationships, but I certainly would still admire and listen to his advice on trading. So I think when you're looking at mentors in general, ask yourself, like, are there aspects of this person? Are they respected? Right? Are they liked? Are they happy? I think happy is a big one too, right?
Yeah, it's huge.
Money obviously is nice. We often think about, this is a funny thing because I interview people who are all like different various levels of wealthy, right? But happiness is an important component too. I think especially here in Miami, as men as well, like everybody's trying to hustle, and you see people who will work real hard, and then as soon as the day they die, it's like nobody cares, which is fine for most people, but it's like, it'd be nice if you have people that care about you when you're here. So look for mentors who are liked, appreciated, seems like they're living a healthy lifestyle as well. And if not, you know, just be careful with what advice you listen to them from, recognizing that they're a person, you know, and they could be super good at something, and other parts of their life could be in shambles. You mentioned books. So sales books, what was your number one or top 2 or 3 books, whichever one you can remember, that you would recommend?
My 3 books that I recommend: number 1, Think and Grow Rich. Okay. Number 2, classic. Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone.
Okay.
And then 10X Rule by Grant Cardone.
Sell or be sold.
That was the book that I read that literally got me into sales. That book right there. Nice. And then there's a 4th book, and it's all about work and consistency, and it's called Problems of Work. It's by L. Ron Hubbard.
Problems of Work?
Yep. It's like a brown cover, and it's by L. Ron Hubbard, and he goes over consistency, discipline, time management, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Everything is covered in one book. Lays out so simple.
Awesome.
And
awesome.
I was reading a chapter of it yesterday, man, about consistency, you know, and dude, I was reading, I'm like, fuck, this is so good.
Yeah. Love that, man. Yeah. So I think my top 2 books, so there's Principles by Ray Dalio. Good book. Think and Grow Rich, obviously, but I feel like I need to reread. I read that so long ago.
Yeah.
That I feel like it's in my brain, but I actually haven't looked at the words in forever. But it's kind of foundational mindset stuff. Then the other book is The One Thing. And so if you're not familiar with it, or for anybody, The One Thing is, and I think this is important as it relates to making money and finance as well, is what is the one thing that you can do that will make everything else easier or irrelevant? Right. So very often we're chasing a lot of things, and we're trying to make a lot of things work. And it's like, well, if you're only doing C because you're waiting on A to pan out, it's like maybe you should just go all in on A. Like you said, you can't fail. Yeah. Right? So you can streamline your life instead of doing so many things. It's like if you just accomplished A, you would never do C in the first place. You wouldn't even think about it. You're just doing C because, you know, A hasn't panned out yet. So love that concept. But yeah, that goes along with like mindset and mentorship as well. So you started your own business 6 months ago. Tell me about that. How did you get to the point where like, all right, I'm going to start my own company. It's going to be a staffing company. And how did you design your business, right? So obviously money, monetary metrics. I don't know if you have like whatever it is, your expectations for growth. Yeah. But yeah, let's just start day 0. Why staffing? How did you get into it? What's the vision?
Man, great question. So why I chose staffing is because I'm good with people. I know sales. I know what a good salesperson is, and I know what the number one problem companies have: having the right salespeople. Salespeople
I'll say people, but salespeople also. Salespeople are also people.
But salespeople, dude, because salespeople are the ones that drive economies.
Yeah.
If you don't have the right sales team, your product will not get sold.
Yeah.
Right. And so I know that. And being in my previous organization, I see it constantly, dude. The turnover rate is freaking insane. Right. So I was at a point in my career, I was making great money, more money than I ever made in my life. I was making money in a month that I didn't make in a year, 3 years prior.
Yeah.
Right. And I either had the long-term route as like a corporate route, or dude, go do the dreams and goals that you want to achieve that you've had since you lived back home in Erie, Pennsylvania, which is where I'm from.
Yeah.
And so it's a very pivotal point, right? Because I was making good money, but it wasn't, then again, it's not about just the money, right? I could be making 100 grand a month, or like 80 grand a month or 50 grand a month, whatever it is. But dude, if I myself inside am not fulfilled, that check is absolutely worthless.
How would you explain that, right? So you know that now. Go back to 18-year-old you or 13-year-old you, right? Where you're watching your...
Bro, if I was doing that, bro, if I was making 50 grand a month at 18 years old, bro, I probably wouldn't be here right now, bro. So I'd probably be fucking, I don't know. I wouldn't be here.
Trust me, I get it, man. How would you explain though? Because that's always a challenge, right?
Yeah.
I post this content, and part of it is you want to share like what's possible, because I want people to see like, yo, like I actually...
Can I share something?
Yeah.
So check this out. So for all of you viewers out there, okay, and all the people that are online that are saying they're making 30 grand a month or they're making 50 grand a month and they're living in this huge penthouse, I promise you it's fake. Bro, you cannot live a good life making 50 grand a month. It's literally not possible.
Oh, in like a penthouse or just in general?
Dude, just in general.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like you cannot live on, I don't even know how you live on 50 grand a month. Like, bro, like it's not even enough. I mean, it's not enough.
That's a lot of money for a lot of people.
It's a lot of money for a lot of people, right? But I see a lot of people. I see a lot of business owners and Instagram people. It's great marketing. It's great marketing. It's phenomenal marketing, right? And that's what they should do. But the problem is that, dude, 50 grand a month is the wrong goal.
That's what, $600K a year.
It's 600
pre-tax, so you're probably doing 360.
Yeah, you're making like 360 after taxes, right? And then you have your car rent, you have your payment. That guy probably bought a BMW. He probably lives in a really nice place, so he's probably only left with like 60 grand after everything, right? So, that's the wrong target, right? And so my message is like, bro, you need to make like $1 million a month.
$1 million a month.
Dude, that's like the first target.
Yeah.
Because think about it. You're only limited so much on that 500 or on that $1 million a year.
Yeah.
Like, bro, good. I make 100 grand every month for 12 months. Now what?
Yeah.
What's next?
I mean,
right?
There's the middle ground. So I agree with them. I want to dissect this. This is good. I want to dissect this because
it's a great topic.
This goes back to, again, to the younger, before you know what's possible. If I went to most people, and a lot of people watching this are going to be like, what the fuck? Like 50 grand a month is an insane amount of money to a lot, especially people making 80 grand a year.
Yeah.
90 grand a year, 100K a year.
It is.
Like you just did half of my, 9 to 5 in 30 days. So now I've had multiple 6-figure months, 7-figure years, things like that. So I get it. But at the same time, how would you explain to someone that it's not enough? Like when you say it's not enough to live off of, what is that? What is the experience that's coming from? Right?
I would say, great question, man. Great question. I would say because it's limited.
Yeah.
Right? You can't really live the life that you want on that certain level of income. Like when I started at my previous company, my goal was like, dude, if I make 30, and you're right? When I'm young, like, dude, 30 grand a month was my target. I'm like, bro, if I could just make 30 grand a month, dude, 30 grand a month, 30 grand a month, 30 grand a month. Then within no time, within 18 months, I was making 30 grand a month, 30 grand a month, 30 grand a month, right? And when I was at that 30 grand a month, I was like, bro, like I literally, dude, like almost nothing changed.
Yeah.
Your lifestyle may change a little bit. You'll be able to buy a car. You'll be able to rent a nice apartment. But dude, other than that, you really can't play around that much.
Yeah.
That's why my biggest mistake that I made when I was starting out is setting my target too low.
Yeah.
And so I will never, ever do that again. And so even if it's super, super out of reach, like let's say you're working in a company, right? And you're currently making 80 grand a year, right? Your next target should be like 800 grand a year.
Yeah.
Like you should take that target and just like multiply it.
Which
right?
is totally possible, especially like if you're in sales. Because I was the same. My goal, I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah.
And a story I've shared many times, like my first job out of college, I was making $55,000 a year. My rent was $665. So like,
You probably thought you were the shit.
it was cheap. Yeah, I was chilling. I went and bought a BMW. I shouldn't have bought, financed it. Had orange leather. It was awesome. Rolling around St. Louis like an idiot, feeling on top of the world.
Yeah.
And then I remember, contrast that to my first like 6-figure commission, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like, this is more than I made in an entire year in just one paycheck, like one check. Hit my bank account, and then multiples off of that. So it's definitely possible. And then especially like, I'm not even talking about trading. This is just like, I'm talking about sales commissions. In trading, you can make, a gajillion dollars, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. I agree with your points. I think the hardest thing that I find is how do you relate it to people? So not just telling people, hey, 50K is not enough. Because to somebody who's making 50K a year, 50K a month is life-changing for them. But lifestyle, the key word there is lifestyle. If you look at people, and there's people here in Miami making $600K a year, they live in an apartment, they have a car, they drive to work. Yep. Okay, you're making $80K a year, you live in an apartment, drive a car, go to work.
You may get some nicer groceries.
You might be a little bit more financially secure, like things aren't troubling you. You can certainly invest and save more aggressively if you're smart. A lot of people don't anyways, they just blow the money. But there's definitely like levels to the shit, like if you're making the difference between making $500K a year versus somebody who's making $2 million a year is now you're maybe doing a little bit different.
It's a little bit of room.
Yeah.
Little bit of room.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think I like what you're getting at, dude. Like the real difference is in those huge, like the big gap.
Yeah.
That's what you need to shoot for, man. That middle range will just kill you.
Yeah. Because you're doing more of the same stuff, but you're just paying more for it.
Exactly, man. You may be able to buy some more cars, go on some more trips. It's cool. I'm not dogging anyone that's doing that, but like, dude, like, bro, freaking shoot for the stars. You know what I mean, dude? Like, bro, stack up that bread, dude. Yeah. Like, make that freaking money, dude. Get that cash.
100%. I mean, that's what I'm aiming for. That's my goal.
My first target for my business is make 10 mil a month.
10 mil a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my first target. I'm nowhere near that right now.
Yeah. I mean,
but it's a target.
That's sick. I mean, that's sick, man. I think you'll get there. 10 mil a month, that puts you at 120 million a year.
Yeah.
Totally possible.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you right now, I know what it's like to see a business do that. I mean, I have a background in like tech sales.
Oh,
right?
dude,
so I'm
that's
a software engineer by trade, so I know like the type of customers and size of deals it takes to get to like, that monthly recurring revenue, what you might call it, or just revenue in general.
Yeah.
It's definitely possible, guys. Like any of you who are like, that's impossible. It's like, no, it's so possible.
Someone else is doing it already.
Yeah, they're out there. Cool, man. So you've got the business. You want to do $10 million a month. What are you spending your money on nowadays? How would you describe your relationship with money today? Is there anything that you're looking to get? Check off a list? Are you just more focused on the growth of the business? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, man, money's awesome. Yeah. I love money. Yeah. The way I view money is money is the display of your courage.
That's a bar.
So your courage level will determine on how much money you're willing to give and how much money you're willing to get. That's like a set in stone principle.
Yeah, I love that, man. And you said courage, not necessarily work ethic or intelligence. It really is just who's willing to
do it,
get dirty, get
exactly,
in the mud.
Man. Like
yeah.
If you got the dude, like I'm speaking to these guys, right? Or I'm speaking to business owners, right? And they want to make $1 million. Let's say they want to make $10 million a year in their business, right? Yeah. And they're currently at let's say they're at 100K.
Yeah.
In a year, right? We'll just 10x it, right? Well, if that business owner really wants to make $1 million in a year, he needs to go from 100 grand a year to $1 million a year. 100K a month. He's currently making 10 grand a month, right? He's gonna have to raise his courage level
substantially
in order to get there. And so, with that being said, he's gonna have to take that money, which is just digits. It's literally just a tool. It's not anything but a tool. and you simply put it into something that's going to help you grow more. Now, the only reason why people don't do that and aren't willing to do that is because they don't have the courage or the belief in themselves to actually follow through with what they're going to invest in.
Yep.
You know, because they've proven themselves that more and more again, you know, whether it happened in high school, whether it happened in college, or they made an agreement with their mom and they didn't keep it, you know, that stuff sort of accumulates, right? And so what happens is like, you know, like a guy like me, right? I have a high courage level. So I'm willing to put all of my chips out there with the knowingness that if I lose it all, I'm going to have the courage to make it up again.
Yeah. That's big. I always tell people, this sounds like you're a gambler almost, but
yeah,
you have to be willing to lose it all. And if you look at the data, if you look at people who are extremely successful, a lot of them have lost it all.
Yeah.
Right. So the why behind that is, if you want to have like huge asymmetric returns, okay, there's like this cycle, right? Some people don't lose it all, but it's like the people who are willing to be brave enough are taking on more risk. And if you're younger or if things don't go your way, like the sector could go against you, bad timing can go against you. For whatever reason, your business could fail. Mm-hmm. And that's fine. Like, failure happens, but a consequence of failure is you lose all your freaking money. Yeah. But the thing is, like, again, you get paid for courage. So even if you lose all your money, one of the things that you learn is how easy it is to make money.
Dude,
so it's
exactly.
like you lose it, but it's like, you know, in your head, it's like, I could just make this shit back, you know?
Bro,
like,
you can literally go out on a street corner right now and wash cars with a sponge and make $1,000 in a day.
Yeah.
Just charge people $10, dude. You wash, what is that, 100 cars? No, that's 10 cars, $10, 100 cars, it's $1,000.
Yeah. 100 a day you could charge more, but it's possible.
Bro,
it's
you go on the street corner, grab a sponge, grab a freaking soap, dude. I'd pay the guy just for asking me.
Really?
Yeah, bro. He's like, hey, man, I'll wash your car, dude. He washed my windshield. I'd be like, all right, done. Here's $10.
You're nicer than me. I've got that New York. I lived in New York for a while, so I'm really good at being like, before I could tell somebody's in the eyes, they're looking at me, I'm like, nah. Yeah, It's like immediately I'm like, no, don't waste your breath. Yeah. But that's cool, man. It's fire. First I'm gonna open it up. I have some questions I want to rattle off to you here. What can I answer for you? I always like to open it up for my guest. What do you want to know about me?
Tell me about your relationship with money.
My relationship with money, man. Constantly evolving. So one of the things that I love about doing this show, right, and talking to people is just the perspectives, right? So all the differing perspectives. You know, there's a long tail on this, but I want to write a book kind of after I've done like a couple thousand of these interviews, just on what I've learned about people's relationships with money. So I'm a bit of a philosopher in that sense, but I agree. One, money is a tool. I think it's a tool. I like how you said it's just a number, right? Mm-hmm. We often, when you don't have money, you think of it as like this critical kind of life blood resource, but it's just made up, right? If you look at how the economy works and the people that we reward with money, there's people doing a gajillion dollars on OnlyFans. There's people getting paid a gajillion dollars to hit a ball, throw a ball, talk on television. There's people who do back-breaking work every single day. You know, it could be physical labor, some of them make nothing, some of them make a lot. There's people that are lawyers, there's software engineers, other types of engineers who make like okay income. And all of these people are really their identity is tied to their work and their income. A lot of people find like their self-worth in their income. And I think the hardest thing to relate to people is like, look, I get that you're a doctor or a lawyer or whatever, but the amount of money that you're making is completely made up. Like the market could just decide. We're seeing this in so I know a lot about software engineering is my background, but software engineering is getting hit with this pretty hard right now. For a while, they were like, hey, everybody has to learn how to write code.
Now they got AI, right?
Now we've got AI. The first people they go after is the degree and the workforce that created the thing, right? So it's getting commoditized, just like carpentry. I think that software engineers and carpentry are very simple. Similar. Holy crap, I can't talk. In that it's a pretty high skill task, right? If you're in construction, like if you go talk to somebody who's a master craftsman, like an insane amount of knowledge and skill, but the market, society is only going to reward that so much. And especially if you churn out and make the job easier. Now we have machines. Like you don't need a master carpenter to do most things. You can just turn it into a process.
Yeah.
Right? So suffice to say, if your identity is tied up in that, who are you? So that's what I think about with money, right? So growing up, I was very much a maker. I was a software engineer, like making things. I was very proud of when I first hit my first 100K. Nice. But then when you look and you're like, this dumbass who doesn't know anything is making 30x what I make. And here I am feeling proud, working, my 9 to 5, 6-figure 9 to 5. You start to ask questions. And I think it's fine to ask questions. So where I'm at now is I purely look at money as a tool. It's something that if you learn to play the game of life, it'll come easily. And yeah, you really should just be looking for, my desire and goal for everybody is like, just try to find the biggest return on your time and purpose, right? So if you find something that you enjoy and it can print money, do that, feel happy. You're probably going to get tired of it in 8 years anyways, right? And you'll want to do something else, but put some hay in the barn and, money gives you options. That's the other thing I always say. Money gives you options. Yeah. So my desire to accumulate more money is so that I have more options because I don't know, 33 now, I don't know exactly what I'm going to want in 10 years. I know what I want now in 10 years, but I don't know what I'm going to want in 10 years when I arrive at that point. So, but I want to have options, right? So that's my relationship with money in a nutshell.
Nice. Yeah. Very good.
Thanks for asking.
I got another question.
Yeah.
So can AI help you with Forex?
Good one. So I don't trade Forex. I think in terms of trading in general.
What do you day trade?
So I'm a futures trader. I trade futures, equities, options.
Oh, interesting.
Can
AI help you with that?
I have a tool that I'm building, like a SaaS tool now, that is AI backed, but it's not AI in the way that people think of it. Like people think of AI like there's going to be this artificial intelligence that's just like, hey, do this, do that. No, I think AI is best used when an expert can tell it or ask it good questions. Say, hey, interpret this for me in this way. And it can shortcut those operations. What I've seen working with them very closely, not to get too into the weeds, is these things mostly suck. So LLMs and stuff like that, we call them artificial intelligence, but really they're just really good grammar machines. They're just really good at talking in a relatable way. But in terms of like getting trading ideas, like you have to be very specific with what you ask it with parameters, or it's just going to make stuff up. And I think that's true for a lot of businesses, right? I think good point. I think the chatbot component of it is good. It can be helpful for a lot of people, and that's it. I mean, the industry is at year zero. It's going to continue. The addressable market for AI is going to continue to grow exponentially. But today, anybody making crazy claims with AI, it's just like I respect the hustle, but I'm not sold.
Very cool.
Yeah. But I could talk about that forever. What else you got?
I think that's really it.
Cool. Well,
that was good data.
Yeah, I've got 2 questions I'd like to ask everybody at the end of these, which is the first one is, what are you most afraid of?
Getting my intestines pulled out of
Jesus
me.
Christ, dude. That's the first gruesome, violent,
Bro, that shit's real, bro. That shit's scary as fuck. That shit freaks the fuck out of me, dude.
What situation are you in?
Bro, I'm just saying, bro.
Where your guts are getting ripped out.
Bro, that shit scares the fuck out of me, bro. If I see somebody laying there and that shit's going on, bro, that shit is fucking freaks me out, dude.
All right, hold up.
That shit freaks me out,
hold up, bro. I mean, if I saw a guy right now on the ground with his guts coming out, I'd also be concerned. I wouldn't just be like, oh, nah, that's chill, man. Just let him bleed out.
Bro, that shit's crazy, bro. Crazy. That shit scares the fuck out of me, dude. Yeah, for real.
Okay, cool.
That's probably my biggest thing I'm afraid of is that.
All right, fair enough. That's an answer. What are you most excited about?
I'm excited about my future.
Yeah,
I'm excited about what I'm doing right now, man. I'm excited about me. Yeah. Dude, I'm excited about what I'm doing. Speaking with you, getting to meet great people like you, getting around the right people, making the right amount of money, dude, making the changes, dude. That's what I'm most excited about, man.
Yeah,
and
awesome.
just connecting with, people, great people. I want to set a good standard for myself. That way, I can meet great people like yourself, and then other individuals that you're connected with, and I can get in your group and then their group and then just get spread out from there, you know, but it starts with me.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm most excited about, man.
Love
and
that,
building
man.
a future with my beautiful girlfriend and building a family with her.
Okay. Introducing the girlfriend. Okay. How long have y'all been together?
About 2 years.
Awesome. Love that, man.
She's awesome.
Cool. You thinking kids in the future?
For sure.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's awesome.
Cool, man. Love that. And you're here in Miami, or where you?
Yeah, I live right in downtown.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. We'll definitely have to stay in touch. I'm gonna be hitting you up. So I've got my course that I'm launching. A goal of mine is to reach as many people as I can. So I might utilize some of your services. But where can people find you best if they're just interested in you or, you know, your staffing business?
You can find me at Chris Dietz, CEO. At Find Me Staffing Solutions. That's also my Instagram as well. You can look me up, findmestaffingsolutions.com. Chris Dietz, that's ChrisDietz, CEO.
Awesome. It'll be down below. Chris, thank you, man, for joining me on the show.
You're welcome, bro. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
And if for some reason you still haven't subscribed, if you're at this point in the video and you
gotta
haven't
do it.
subscribed to the channel, what the fuck? But please subscribe. If you loved us, leave a comment. If you hated us, me or Chris, leave a comment. I'll probably, you know, say something snarky in response, but all engagement is good engagement. Per usual, see you in the next episode. Peace.
Let's go.
I'm never gonna look back, 'cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's fact.